Hey, howdy folks, Rampage here with this week's Smackdown review. And our biggest that we have to talk about, it's not a match result. It's not a number one contender. It's not who showed up, it's who's coming. Shelton Benjamin's coming back to Smackdown. Ain't no stopping him now. I am so excited to see him back in the ring. It's gonna be amazing. It's been a long time. Been so long, actually, in watching all the footage, I don't think they have HD footage of Shelton Benjamin to bring him back. So, it was a little jarring to see that, but I can't wait. So let's talk about SmackDown this week. First thing that struck me is they had a whole bunch of different camera angles. The announce table is at ringside, unlike Raw. They did a whole bunch of things to make the show look different. The LED stage is set differently. They don't have an entrance ramp. They just come out on the floor. The floor just leads directly to the ring. I thought that was pretty rad. Actually, that might be the same for Raw. I need to go back and look at that now. But overall, I thought it was very cool. They had different, like the LED wall behind the Titantron was different. I thought it was really cool, and they don't have the arches. So we start off with Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan backstage because this is completely different than Raw. This is all about the superstars. And they look through the curtain and you actually get the view that the wrestlers get when they come out and come down to the ring, which is really cool to see. And you see the entire SmackDown roster in the ring. Boom, we go to our entrance music. It starts off with a big fist coming towards the screen. Great homage to the old giant fist you sit above the entrance ramp for SmackDown. So I thought that was a really cool way to start things off. However, then we go to Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, standing in the middle of the ring, surrounded by everybody else. So we basically get the Raw intro, but it's SmackDown, but it's different, but sort of the same. Basically, they say, hey, we've got the world title, we need a new number one contender. How are we going to figure this out? Well, what's the one thing better than a fatal four-way? It's a six-pack challenge. Haven't seen one of those in absolutely forever, so I actually have to go back and look at how long it's been, and I didn't do that before starting recording. So, I'm sure somebody out there knows. Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll get some sort of notation in here. But they basically decide who's going to be in the six-pack challenge. They call out the face that runs the place, John Cena. The face of fear, Bray Wyatt. They've got Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and AJ Styles. Crowd goes, love it. Wait a minute, that's them. Only 5. Who's number 6? The 6th person has to earn their slot in a battle royal, and it's next. So, we go in and we check out this battle royal. Basically, everyone's involved there. A few big notes is Kane is the tag team eliminating machine. He eliminated the Ascension. And I think he also single-handedly eliminated another tag team that I can't remember now. But he had a big role to play. It actually comes down to your final 3 are Zack Ryder. Awesome. Woo-woo. Always glad to see him coming up. Kane, and Apollo Crews. Kane tosses Zack Ryder out. Zack Ryder basically goes for the Rough Rider. Kane grabs him like the chokeslam and pushes over the top rope. He charges after Apollo Crews. He pulls down the top rope. Kane tumbles out. And there you have it. Apollo Crews is on top. He will be in your main event in the six-pack challenge. From there, we go to Becky Lynch versus Natalya, Part 2. This is a rematch from Battleground on Sunday. On Sunday, Natalya comes out on top after working over the knee of Becky Lynch for most of the match. This match was rough and tumble. This was a pretty rugged match, back and forth. In the end, Becky Lynch does wrap her up in the disarmor, and Natalya does tap out. I'm willing to bet we are going to see a rematch of these two probably at SummerSlam. I think we're going to have a rubber match at that point. After that, we have Alexa Bliss comes out, basically saying that she is the future, this is what it looks like, followed by Naomi, followed by Carmella, who lets us all know that Tuesdays are going to become fabulous. And then the entire arena is a washing crimson glow. Wonderful voiceover. It gives us all these alluring facts about Eva Marie. And we have all read everything on SmackDown, and the crowd despises her for just walking out there. So wonderfully done. I love the fact they've played up the heat that she has, and she just carries that with her. She can wrestle she hasn't wrestled on Raw or SmackDown in probably 6 months, and she probably got more heat than just about anyone that night, which is amazing. From there, we go on to Miz TV. Miz comes out, he basically describes who he's going to interview, and then, shocking surprise twist, he decides to interview himself. So we got Miz talking to Miz, asking Miz questions. It's witty, it's a banner, I like it. And Randy Orton shows up, going, I thought you were talking about me. No, you weren't talking about me. And they go back and forth for a bit, and Orton throws down and says, well, my first night at SmackDown, I want to fight somebody. I want to fight the Intercontinental Champion. Miz is like, no. You don't deserve a title match. Orton's like, I don't care about a title. I want to fight you. And I love during this entire segment, like, 80% of it is Miz standing behind Maurice, using her as sort of a shield against Orton. And Orton starts throwing insults at the both of them, and then Maurice accepts the match on behalf of Miz. So we do get Randy Orton taking on Miz after the commercial break. We do get the match. Match is back and forth for a bit. In the end, Orton does hit the RKO and then just sits there for a while, sort of shock, awe. And after a minute or so, Miz gets to his feet. Orton does the whole little reel. He doesn't do the shouldery thing anymore. And then hits the RKO again and gets the win. Prior to that, Miz actually did spend a good chunk of the match working over the shoulder of Orton, which I thought was a nice touch. Man's been out for 9 months with a shoulder injury. You know he's got a weakness. Aim for it. That's what I like. From there, my favorite tag team, American Alpha, will be here next week. They're not here this week. I, for one, am ready, willing, and able for them to show up. That's going to be badass to see. After that, we go back to the ring, and there's someone who I have no clue who this guy is in the ring, but Heath Slater comes out of the crowd, clocks him across the head from behind, and says he's here, he's the hottest free agent, he should be on SmackDown, hey, sign me. You know the drill. Shane McMahon shows up, it's like, hey, you can send in your resume. And Heath Slater's like, sign my resume? Why would I do that? I could just tell you I'm on the WWE Network. He's like, basically says, hey, Google me. But Heath Slater drops a bunch of cool history at this point. It's like, I'm a founding member of the core of Nexus, 3-man band, or 3MB. We don't talk about 3-man band. All at that point, and at that point Shane's like, yeah, hottest free agent in wrestling, I think we can work with that. At which point Rhino comes out of the crowd and cuts him in half with a gore. So Shane McMahon looks like he has signed Rhino, former ECW champion, to SmackDown. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure where Rhino fits into the brand, but I definitely like the fact that we are getting some new blood into the blue brand. From there, we do have our 6-pack challenge. I thought this was a fun match. Lots of back and forth. Lots of Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews with everyone else knocked out outside the ring. The ending was great. It was like everyone and their mother hit their finisher block, or finisher kick out. At one point, it looks like Apollo Crews, I thought, has it, but Bray Wyatt just pulls the referee out, KOs the ref. Ref's down, clutching his knee, totally Nancy Kerrigan to the side of the ring. All sorts of chaos going on. In the ring, Cena hits attitude adjustments on everyone and their mother. He's standing tall. AJ Styles hits the flying forearm, but Dolph Ziggler comes in, hits the super kick, hooks the leg, gets the 3 count, and Dolph Ziggler is your #1 contender, folks. Yes, this is 2016. Yes, we are going into SummerSlam, and Dolph Ziggler is fighting for your world title. Finn Balor is fighting for the Universal title. I don't know what's going on anymore. This is the wrestling show we've been waiting for. At that point, we do get Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, who out to the ring to congratulate them. because the focus is totally on the wrestlers and not on the GMs or the commentators. And that wraps the show up at that point. It's good to see. I liked it. I liked the look of SmackDown. I liked the way the show ran. I liked the talent. I liked the pacing. I think everyone stepped up their game. And I really look forward to seeing what happens next. So that's the review of SmackDown. Any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and we'll see you next week.